and I noticed something on the floor. I thought it was a mannequin. So I looked a little closer and I said, geez, that's a person, you know, and then I...
Electrician Gary Smith was just looking for a way to run some electric cable around this house. What he found has now sent shockwaves around the world.
I looked a little closer and I could see blood in the ear and a weapon laying on his chest.
The medical examiner now confirms the body Smith found is that of Kurt Cobain, lead singer of Nirvana, the band that typifies Seattle grunge rock. Even before the body was officially identified, fans came running to Cobain's home.
We love him.
He taught with
me
the music
from
and
the time I was 11 years old.
And he's
someone that
part of our life with this music.
Someone that I have spoken to and someone that I have shared ideas and conversations with in our chance meetings here in Seattle, and someone that I really respected and looked up to.
And I can't believe what what this is going to do to Seattle music scene, for one.
Yeah. Seattle, you mean the world.
Reporters from across the country flooded in to find out why this rich, successful musician would take his own life. He left a suicide note, but authorities won't release it.
I only read the bottom lines on it. It's bottom two lines said, I love you to someone.
We don't know if that someone is Courtney Cobain, Cobain's wife, who is said to be in California. But we do know that this is not the first time suicide has been mentioned in this home. Police reports from March 18th show that officers were called to the home that night. The report says Courtney Cobain told officers Kurt had locked himself in a room and that he was going to kill himself. She also stated that he had a gun in the room. Cobain told police he was not suicidal and didn't want to hurt himself. The report says due to the volatile situation with the threat of suicide and the recovery of unknown medication, the weapons and medication were placed into custody.
Magic has died, really. Think about it.
Kurt Cobain grew up in Aberdeen. He did not grow up happy. Childhood friend Trevor Broughton showed us the bridge under which Cobain lived after he dropped out of high school and was kicked out of the family home.
He was kind of like punk rock when, you know, in a little hick town like this, nobody, you know, a bunch of big loggers calling him queer all the time, you know. Just probably wasn't much fun around here for him.
Cobain was arrested for painting graffiti, early signs of the teenage rebellion of which he would later sing. Cobain hooked up with Chris Novoselic, another Aberdeen kid, and formed Nirvana in 1987.
High energy rock and roll.
They played local clubs and colleges, and in 1989 recorded their first album, Bleach. That angry sound was a rejection of what they called the macho, redneck, mainstream establishment. But it sold. And for their next album, titled Nevermind, international recording companies got into a bidding war. The 1991 release rocked to the top, making millions of dollars and changing the lives of the local grunge rockers. Cobain married singer Courtney Love in 1992. They had a baby girl, Frances. But despite the apparent family bliss and the fame and the fortune, there were tracks of drug addiction in Cobain's life. Heroin. Cobain was forthright in his off-again, on-again attraction to the drug. He suffered stomach problems as well that caused the band to cancel 2 recent concerts in Europe. But in Rome, just last month, a booze and drugs cocktail landed Cobain in a hospital, a large dose of a strong sedative mixed with champagne. It may be telling what Cobain wrote for the band's latest album, In Utero. The track is titled Serve the Servants. Cobain sings, "Teenage angst has paid off well. Now I'm bored and old." Brian Wood, KIRO News Channel 7.
The news spread mostly by word of mouth. On Seattle's Capitol Hill, front-page headlines made Kurt Cobain's death real for Nirvana fans who didn't want to believe it.
But it really made me very angry because this is a very talented person that's just gone to waste. And they're an excellent band. And it's like, we're not going to be able to hear their music.
They used the same words over and over again, shock and sadness.
I think it's really sad. I don't know why he did it. You know, it seems kind of crazy that he would go so far and then just off himself like that.
Some say they saw this tragedy coming.
Earlier this year, we'd kind of been taking bets as to who would go first, whether it be Eddie or
Kurt.
Downtown, at a popular cafe and laundromat for alternative music fans, Cobain's death was the subject of conversation.
Musically, he was a real pioneer. He was on the cutting edge. He did things that nobody else had done before. Nirvana really paved the way. They were the Seattle sound, if there is such a thing. And it's a real loss. It's a tragedy.
It is very shocking to hear that somebody with such talent, a family, it looked from the outside like everything was going so well. And so it's a tragic loss.
Some fans got the news at a local alternative music store.
It's a big shock. You wouldn't think someone like that would just go and kill themselves.
Katie Richards and Salinas Holcomb say they'll miss Cobain's music.
Sometimes when you hear it, you can be in bad moods, and other times when you're in bad moods, it can just totally lift your spirits up. It just has a way of getting your attention.
For something like this to happen, it's just really sad. It's bad news.
In Seattle, Steve Knight, KIRO News Channel 7.